Hello, afternoon, and welcome to Books and Beer. Good to see you. I hope you're well. I hope you're having a nice afternoon wherever you are. As you would have noticed, I'm on my own. I'm doing a solo Books and Beer. I'm assuming that you can hear me. If you can't hear me, let me know if there's some problem with the sound or it's not coming through properly. Do let me know. It's an unplanned solo show today because I intended to have a brilliant author called Jake Needham on, who is in Bangkok in Thailand. That's where he lives. And his internet wasn't working, unfortunately. So he sent me a bit of a panicked message this morning saying, "Oh no, I'm going to have to cancel." And I said, "That don't worry, it's absolutely fine." I think, yeah, this is quite an informal show anyway. So if he couldn't make it, it's fine. But we've rescheduled that for 2 weeks' time. So he will be here with me in 2 weeks' time. Jake Needham. If you haven't read one of his books, I would recommend it because then you'll sort of know what we're talking about in 2 weeks. They're called the Inspector Samuel Tay thrillers. The first one is called The Ambassador's Wife, and I read that just a couple of weeks ago. In fact, I finished it about 2 days ago, and it was brilliant. I really, really would recommend that. So if you do fancy that, check him out before he's on in 2 weeks. I'm having a beer because it's Books and Beer, isn't it? Here we go. It's a Banks beer. Yeah, there we go. Last week, a friend of mine suggested that I contact some breweries for Books and Beer and try and get some sponsorship. So it's a good idea. Haven't done it yet, but maybe I will one day. Thought it could be good just to get some free beers sent. So basically today, because it's me on my own as well, it relies a little bit more on you lovely people watching at home or wherever you might be. If you've got a question or you want me to talk about something a little bit different, do put that in the comments. Otherwise, I'll go through the few things I wanted to say, and that will be that. So it won't last so long. But if you want to talk about something specifically, let me know and I will do that. Let's have a quick look in the comments now. Firstly, to check it's all coming through okay. Secondly, just to say hello to some people who are in here. Do remember that this is broadcast 2 places on Facebook and on YouTube, so you might not see the people commenting on your stream, but I can see them. I can see it all. Omniscient. Alison says afternoon. Hello, how are you doing? And she also says it's loud and clear. Ian says good afternoon. Bondi, how are you doing, mate? Are you well? You may have noticed that I'm in a different place. If you get my mailing list and you've read my email I sent out this afternoon, you'll know that I am staying with my parents for a couple of weeks down here in Sussex, sunny Sussex, which, if you don't know England, is sort of on the left-hand bottom corner of, no, sorry, the right-hand bottom corner. I got that wrong. The right-hand bottom corner, if you look at it on the map. It's pretty much as close as you can get to France without actually being in France. But yeah, it's lovely down here. Beautiful part of the country. We've had some nice walks out in the countryside. I've been doing some work in the mornings and getting out in nature in the afternoon, which has been absolutely perfect. And drinking some quite tasty beers as well, which is always good. What are you drinking this afternoon? Is it too early for you? What is it now? 3 minutes past 5? Let me know. Put that in the comments as well. It's always lovely to hear. And what I do need to say on this, because I don't do this often, and YouTube are always bugging me to do it, can you please subscribe to the channel on YouTube? Because I'm on about 60 subscribers now. And if I get to 100, I can have my own link that says youtube.com/Luke Richardson, author, or whatever. Whereas at the moment, it is just youtube.com/loads of numbers. So no one can find anything very easily. But if I can do that, that's brilliant. So if you haven't already, head over to YouTube, find me, put it in there, sorted. That'd be amazing. Thank you. Right, Alison says, can you talk about your travel podcast? Yes, I'm going to do that because I'm really excited about that. In fact, I'll do that now. So I've shared this twice on my mailing list now. I haven't shared it on this show because I've been with someone for the last couple of weeks. So this is a good opportunity to do it now, actually. Since about January, I've been working on a top secret project, which I've now announced to you guys. It is out there. I've not really started promoting it that much yet, but I thought I'd let you guys know first. It is a podcast, which is all about travel and sort of the places, interesting places that you could go, and inspirations behind travel, and how to travel, and where to travel, and what to do with you, what to take with you, this sort of thing. So whilst my books are going to feature on it, and I will do episodes on the places that my books are on. I've done one on Kathmandu already, and I will go through and do the others. And I've done one on New York actually, but I didn't really talk about the book in that one because it was an interview. Whilst I will talk about the books in that sense, it's not really about writing. It's more about the sort of destinations that I'm going to, that I'm thinking about, or maybe sort of a travel theme or a travel style. Some of the episodes at the moment, I'll just go to the website and go through a couple of them with you. As I say, I've done one about Kathmandu. I've done one about walking, so like walking holidays. I've done one specifically about walking the Camino Frances. I've done one about traveling over land, so on trains and buses and things. I've done one about visiting Albania with a friend of mine, one about traveling on your own. I've done one from New York. I've done an episode on great destinations within 2 hours flight time of Nottingham. One about Southeast Asia and the Caribbean separately. One about Mexico. And then one about three trips that really inspired me. So if you like travel and you're into travel and you want to hear and be inspired by different destinations, then that is definitely the podcast for you. As I say, it's not specifically about my books, but if you like my books, the chances are you're quite interested in travel as well. So that may be something you like. If that's the case, I'm not always going to talk about it on this show or on my mailing list. You know, it's one of those things that might not interest everyone, so I'm not going to mention it all the time. If that is the case, please do subscribe on Spotify and on iTunes and wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're able to do a review on some of those, I'd appreciate it. I know iTunes you can. I don't think you review things on Spotify. I never have reviewed anything on Spotify, but if you use iTunes, I know you can leave a review on there, and that is very helpful, and I would really appreciate that. And if you know anyone that would like it, two things actually here. One, if you know anyone that would like it who's into travel and holidays and going away, and perhaps now, as things start to sort of open up a little bit more and we can start traveling again a little bit more, share this with them. I'd really appreciate that, and maybe they would as well. I am going to do a lot of episodes. Sorry for American listeners, but I'm going to do quite a lot of episodes based on things within the UK, because I'm in the UK at the moment and I'm going to travel to these places, and I'm going to do an episode live. So tomorrow I intend to get the train to Brighton, which is about probably about 40 miles, 35 miles from here. I'm going to get the train over there, and I'm going to do an episode in Brighton. So like a day out, you know, and the things you could do. I'm going to sit in a pub and have a beer and talk to you about the various cool places you can go in Brighton and the various cool little shopping districts and place. You know what I mean? Just sort of give you some of the ambience of that city, because it's a very, very cool city. And I always enjoy visiting there. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. And then over the course of the rest of the summer, I will visit a few more places and tell you some more exciting places that you can visit in the UK. So yeah, and then hopefully come September, when I'm going to start traveling again, I've decided personally, in fact, I'm going to have a sip of this first. I'm talking a lot. I've decided personally I'm going to wait till September to get back, to get my passport out again. I'll do travel in the UK before then, but I just don't like the idea of getting somewhere and getting and having to stay in a 5-star hotel for 10 days when I get home or whatever. You know, I'm not even going to try it. I'm going to wait a couple of months for it all to sort of calm down, hopefully. And then hopefully come September, I can do some more destinations internationally, and it could be really exciting. Alison says she's listened to 5 episodes so far and they're really good. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm really proud of them. There's 14 at the moment, I think. I've got 2 more planned. I'm editing one at the moment, and then this one tomorrow that I've told you about, so that'll be 16. Yeah, and I plan on doing them probably about every 2 weeks. Sometimes I'll do, I'm not going to say it'll be out do you know what I mean? I'm not going to do it'll be out every Wednesday or whatever. I'm just going to do them about every 2 weeks. There's not going to be a specific day that they're launched though. But if you subscribe on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, whatever, it should notify you when there's a new one around, which is great. I'm really pleased with them, actually. I think they're sounding really nice. and it's nice to do something a little bit different. You know, obviously I spend a lot of time writing and doing this and like promoting the books, all these sorts of things. And yeah, it's nice to do something that's completely separate in a way. It's another little sort of passion thing. So yeah, that's all good. Bondi says Devon is constant excitement if you can handle it. Yeah, I've heard this. Maybe it's a bit hectic down there for me. I do need to do that, and I've said that to you on this show before, Bondi, that we need to have a beer somewhere in Devon when I'm in that area. Definitely. So yeah, the Travel Now podcast. Really excited about it. I think it's going to be great. Oh, and also, if you've been somewhere exciting that you'd like to talk about, or you'd like to suggest somewhere that's perhaps a little bit unusual, or a trip that you went on that you really excited about, or you'd really like to talk about, I'd like all sorts of people on the podcast, from because there's a lot of travel podcasts that just sort of feature people who do a lot of travel, who travel all the time or travel frequently, but there's less that talk about all of us. Do you know what I mean? I'm not trying to say, I'm trying to avoid terms like normal people or everyday people, but there's less travel podcasts that talk about people who go away for just 2 weeks a year or a month a year or whatever it might be. There's quite a lot that focus on people that travel frequently and go on month-long trips. A bit like Steve Moore does. He's always somewhere, isn't he? And then he moves on to the next place, and that's really cool. And there's lots of podcasts about people like that. But there's less, I think, in my research and my experience, about people who just go on holiday for 2 or 3 weeks and then come back again. And that's what this is. That's what this is sort of aimed at. That's the sort of people that I want to talk to and I want to think about. And that's the sort of idea that I'm going. And actually, I'm really interested in the sort of unusual places, unusual travel experiences. I'm editing a podcast at the moment, which is about volunteering on farms. So the lady Leah, who I interviewed, has done this all over the States, all over Canada, and all over Europe. And she has funded her travel essentially by volunteering on farms all the way, and they pay for her board and her food while she goes. Fascinating thing. I wouldn't even know that was an option until I had this conversation with her. And that is you can do it for a week, you can do it for 5 days, for 4 days, just a weekend, whatever. So it is an option for people who, perhaps want to travel quite cheaply or just want to do something that they've never done before. I thought that was really cool. Yeah. So anyway, if you've got some interesting travel stories, let me know. Let's have a little jump over in the comments. Alison says she's visited Camber Sands. Yes, Camber Sands is beautiful. It's about 10 miles from here, 15 miles from here maybe. Like a beautiful beach, lovely place. Oh, DC's listening in. Hello, mate. Hope all is well. Yeah, all good. I hope you're good too. Keep up the good work and the drinking. I can drink to that. Cheers. I hope you're good, mate. I hope you're getting on well with whatever you're up to. We need to have a conversation in a few weeks. Have you back on at some stage? Yeah. So that's one thing. That's one thing I've been busy with in recent weeks and months, and I'm really pleased with it. Check it out. Okay. Oh, Steve Moore's tuning in. There he is. He heard me mentioning his name, didn't he? Steve, I've just mentioned you as a sort of a travel inspiration. That's what I was talking to you about. Shh, don't tell him. Good morning, mate. I hope you're well. Okay. The other thing, one of the other things I wanted to talk about was this. Hong Kong. My book, Hong Kong, is currently free, which I don't do very often, to be honest. I don't do the thing where a book is free all of the time. I haven't done it yet. I don't say I don't do it as if I'm against doing that, not necessarily, but generally they're just free for a couple of weeks. This has been free. Actually, it's been free for 2 weeks now. I think it'll be a week longer. What I tend to do is just see how it's going day by day, and then I'll stop it. So if you're obviously a fan of my writing, which I hope you are because you're watching this, if you know anyone who you think would be, send them the link. It's free on all your normal stores: Amazon, Apple iBooks, Kobo, Barnes and Noble, all of them. It's all there. And it's free on every Google Play, all of these places. So if you want to recommend my writing to someone, or you know someone that might like it, there's the link to do that. And I would very much appreciate that. Or, as Alison has been doing, and I really appreciate this, Alison, posting it in Facebook groups where readers share books. Now, I go in them and I post it myself occasionally, but I always think as a sort of user of those Facebook groups, it looks better if someone posts that's not the author. Do you know what I mean? If I go, oh, this is an amazing book, and it says, Luke, the best book I've read all year, forget everything else, just read this one. If I say that and it's like by Luke Richardson's posted it, it looks a bit disingenuous. So by you posting it, Alison, or anyone else who is in one of those sort of groups could post it, it does make a big difference to me, and I think that makes a big difference to people that see it, because they think, oh, this must be genuine. He's persuaded at least one other person to like it. So I do appreciate that. Steve says he felt his ears burning. Yes, I think you probably did. Cheers. So yeah, that's free at the moment, which is the second book in the Leo and Alyssa series, and it's gone really well. Again, an amazing number of copies have gone out. I think the sort of nearing 30,000 copies now, which is absolutely bonkers numbers. I can't even imagine having 30,000 books like together. Would be incredible, wouldn't it? So that number's gone out. With these things, you can never tell sort of how many people read it, how many people it just sits on your Kindle and doesn't do anything, which is fine. I expect that. But hopefully that'll get people to read it, enjoy it, and go and read the other books in the series. That's my intention with it. So hopefully that will happen, and we'll get a good number of sort of readers coming through the series, ready for Riga, which is book 5. Kathmandu, Hong Kong, Berlin, New York, Riga. Yeah, book 5 in the series, 6 if you include Kotal, which is the prequel, which I'm really impressed with. Oh, I've done the cover, haven't I, as well? Who's seen the cover? Has anyone seen the cover yet? I did. I've put it on. I've got it. Right, let me, I'm not very organised here, sorry. Hold on a moment. I'm going to do this live. I'm going to put the cover on the screen, a live sort of announcement of what the cover is, what the cover looks like for you. I should have thought about this in advance, if I'm honest. That's what happens when you don't think about things in advance. But that's the half the fun of it, isn't it? Here we go. It's a brilliant cover. I'm really impressed with it. I think you'll like it as well. It's done by Dave Berens, the same guy that's done the last 3 covers. And again, he's done a brilliant job. He's done a really, really, really good job. Oh, hold on. I wonder if I can do it like that. Hold on. Yeah, again, he's done a really, really top job. No. Okay, here we go. It's going to just appear over me. There it is. Yeah, really like it. I gave him the photo of that's the square as you arrive in Riga. It's really annoying the way it just goes right in the middle, isn't it? I wish it'd go to the side like that. There we go. That's better, isn't it? Yeah, I'm really pleased with it. I think it looks great. I think it sort of sums up what the sort of excitement that we want, the sort of threat. They're running. Alyssa's there, sort of running into the city. It makes it look a little bit dark, a little bit dangerous. I love the pigeons in the sky as well. I'm really, really pleased with it. So yeah, that is in progress. Sorry. That is in progress. I'm just laughing because Steve says my head is too big. I don't know if it means literally, like, or figuratively, in that I'm too, boastful, or both, maybe. Yeah, and Steve says Dave Berens is the man. He did the covers for Steve and I with the Kayla Stone books as well, and they look great, if I say so myself. They're brilliant. Oh, Andrew's tuned in as well. Great to see you. Andrew says, good morning. I want to see the cover. That's exciting. And he says, super cool. Yes, I think it is. I think it is really, really cool. I'm really excited about it. So whilst I've saved the editing of Riga, because I had the first draft, I'm now doing the editing, but I saved it till I got here because I quite like working. And I wonder if Steve does this as well, because he sort of travels around a lot. I quite like going, right, I'm going to finish that task when I get to that place and hopefully have it done by the time I leave. So I knew I was coming here. I'm going to stay here for 2 weeks. I've got some other things to do whilst I'm here, but my main focus is just doing the edit on Riga. So I'm getting up every day and getting on with that. And it's going really well. I'm probably about 60% of the way through, tweaking things, tightening it up. It's sounding really, really, really cool. I am very, very excited about it. I think, again, it's just different to the other books in the series. And I don't want to give too much away because hopefully you'll all read it. But it is just different. I can't really compare it. I can't say, oh, it's a bit like this one or it's a bit like that one. It is just different. It's very cool. I'm very, very pleased with how it's sounding so far, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. I do have the blurb, in fact. I'm going to find that and I'm going to read that out to you in a moment. And it is, as I've said, available on as I've said, available for pre-order. So should you want to pre-order it, I mean, some people don't really like that, and that's fine, but should you want to pre-order it, you can do. I think now I'm going for launch probably around July time. That's what I'm reckoning on at the moment. But we will see. Yeah, I think that's probably fair, because also Steve and I have got our two more books coming out in June and July, early June, early July, all going well. So set them free and set me free, and they are brilliant, obviously. But what I don't want to do is release too many books all at once. I want to keep a couple of 2 or 3 weeks between each release, just so that I've got time to actually get on with some writing and do the other thing and do a proper job of each of those launches. But yeah, it's more will be said about those in the coming weeks. So here's the blurb for Riga. Andrea Panasenko thought she knew her mother, but then death changes everything. Mourning the death of her mother, Andrea just wants to be left alone, when a strange journal of espionage and intrigue comes to light, along with an amendment to her mother's will. Peace is the last thing she'll get. To avoid losing her inheritance, Andrea must connect with her estranged sister. One problem, her sister went missing as a child nearly 50 years ago. Leo and Alyssa travel to Riga to help, but they're barely off the plane before Andrea's nowhere to be seen. Taken or fled, they don't know. But to find her, they must follow clues dating back to a time when powerful men ruled supreme. From the back streets of Riga to the vast Latvian forests, Leo and Alyssa stumble into a dog-eat-dog world of politics, lies and secrets. Can they find the truth about a woman who hasn't been seen in 50 years to save another whose life they fear is on the line? Or will the ghosts of the past get the final word? Riga is the new international detective thriller by me. If you like Clive Cussler, Nick Thacker, Ernest Dempsey, Stephen Moore, Russell Blake, I'm just saying that, Steve, because DC Alden, you're tuning in as well, and you'll love this explosive new adventure. There we go. Yes. I'm pleased with it. What do you think? I think it's coming on quite nicely. It's coming together quite well. Let me know what you reckon. Alison is pleased that she thinks that'll be out for her birthday at the end of July. I reckon it will be out for your birthday at the end of July. I'd hope that will be the case. Yeah. What are we now? Middle of May. Yeah. I would hope so. Time will tell exactly, but I would hope so. Stephen Moore says. And he says, great blurb, I'd buy it. Thank you. I'm really pleased with it too. And he says it's the best cover in the series, I think, yet. I think. Interesting. I certainly think it is good. I couldn't pick a best one, but I don't know. I think that's normal in writer folk, isn't it? You can't pick one that you like more than the others. Tom Wyatt, good to see you, man. I hope you're well. He says he's hoping to travel to more European countries from September. Let me know if you want to meet up anywhere. Definitely, let's do that. Where are you planning on going? I would like to go to Istanbul. It's one of the places I would like to go. But I've got some vouchers from an airline. A relevant story, really, here. I've got some vouchers for one of the airlines with the flights I had to cancel. I think it's EasyJet or Ryanair, one of those. And they don't fly to Istanbul, but they fly to somewhere else in Turkey. So I'm thinking, if possible, of flying somewhere else and then traveling to Istanbul, making a little trip out of it. What I'd really like to do, and I don't know it will be possible in September, or I don't know it will be sensible in September, is to travel over land to Istanbul on the train, like the Orient Express. I wouldn't do the Orient Express because that's massively expensive if it even is still running, just like normal day trains. But that would be really, really cool fun. Good fun, I think. Anyway, yes, right. What else did I want to tell you? There's exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. Yeah, I've talked about Riga, talked about Hong Kong, and I've talked about the Travel Now podcast. I've done it all by the sounds of it, which is absolutely great news. So next week I've got a Steve says that EasyJet flies to Mexico. Just saying. If you're still there in September, that could be a goer. But I think you'll probably be you'll be there on and off, I imagine, for months to come, mate. It will definitely happen. It will definitely happen, I think. No, I think it will definitely happen. Oh, that's nice. Nice. It's been beautiful weather down here as well, which always encourages me to have a beer in the afternoon. Well, not necessarily in the afternoon, but in the early evening. Is it really? Wow. Alison said she had a memory on Facebook this morning, and it's been a year since I narrated the Golem of Prague on Steve's YouTube channel, on his Facebook page. Wow, I can't believe that's been a year ago. Yeah. The last year has just rocketed past. It's crazy. But yeah, that was really good fun, that, actually. I have been thinking potentially about doing a similar thing with Steve and I's Set Him Free prequel, but maybe we'll do that when the third book's out as like a launch thing. I think that'd be quite fun because it's quite a short, not a similar length to Golem of Prague, which I think could work quite well. Oh, Cappadocia in Turkey. Yes, Tom, I'd love to go there. It looks absolutely incredible. Yeah. There we go. Let's do that. Beer in Istanbul. We'll do it. It's a great place to hang out and have a cool time. Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Well, thank you. So, I was going to say what's happening. So next week, an author called Nadia Siddiq is joining me. She writes, what's her character called? I think Anonymous is one of the characters. The Badge trilogy or something like that. I'm reading one at the moment, but I can't remember exactly what it's called. Nadia Siddiq, though, she's another American author based in LA again, like Andrew Warren last week. Maybe they even know each other. Who knows? LA's not a massive city after all. May even live next door to each other. She's on next week, which will be great to talk to her. We've been intending to catch up for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's just never happened. And then it's Jake the week after that. So he will be on then, which I'm really excited about talking to him. I'm excited to talking about everyone on the show, but Jake sort of spoke to me because his thrillers are set in Asia, and as are a lot of mine. So I was very sort of excited to talk to him, and he lives there, so he knows behind the scenes of the place. So yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. It is. They're always going to be at this time. The interview with Jake. They're usually at this time. The interview with Jake, I moved it a bit earlier, and I will do the same because for him it's very late in the evening, and he said he'd do a better job of having a chat if it was earlier in the day. So I said, fine, we'll do that. So that'll be in 2 weeks' time. All going well, fingers crossed. Thank you so much for tuning in today. A final reminder, if you get a chance to check out the Travel Now podcast, I would love that. There we go. I am going to get an interview with Stephen Moore on there, in fact. We're going to talk about Mumbai, which is a place we've both love talking about. In fact, I think, Steve, it's the place we've spoke about the most out of any destination. And now one of our books is set there. We've got an excuse to talk about it indefinitely. So that's always good. Do check that out if you are interested. If you've got an interesting travel story to share, let me know, and I would absolutely love to hear it. You can do that on Facebook or YouTube or via the normal means. If you're able to like and subscribe on my YouTube channel, I would really appreciate that. I think if you just search Luke Richardson author, Luke Richardson books and beer, whatever, you'll find me there. And if you struggle, get in touch and I'll send you a direct link. The only problem is at the moment, as I say, it's got that really awkward link, which is a load of numbers and question marks and asterisks and all sorts. So it doesn't really work so well. But once I get to 100 followers, I can get a nice looking one with my proper name in it, and I'll be really pleased with that. So I'd massively appreciate that. Have a fantastic week. It's been really nice to share this beer with you. I'm going to finish editing this episode of the Travel Now podcast. Then I'm going to go and sit in the garden and have another one, I think. Perfect Wednesday. Thanks so much. I'll see you again in a week's time.